Mr. C.Sarat Chandran, presently Senior Fellow at International Institute, Washington and Singapore, a former Director of the Indo-Australian Chamber of Commerce, a non-profit organization which plays a significant role in promoting trade relations between India and Australia. Sarat Chandran has done his Master's Development Economics from the London Schools of Economics and has since worked with Commonwealth Development Institute in London and Sears Corporation in Chicago. Returning to India, he has headed international marketing division of several major companies in the country. He has also been a consultant to the World Bank on issues related to Indian economy development. He also been writing extensively on management and socio-economic issues for leading newspapers and magazines in the country. So help me to welcome Mr. Sarat Chandran. Thank you for joining us, in welcoming us, and being part of such a great audience. Good to see you. We never got the chance to discuss too much before, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I have known you and through Santosh, and I am aware of the kind of work you are doing. I am quite over the kind of success you have been in the last few years, and so I was always looking forward to opportunity to chat with you. So this is a very important moment for me.
I met you when you came with the delegate here long time ago. And we met together that time, but then after that we couldn't get much chance. But it's a good chance for us to communicate with each other, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your comment in LinkedIn on Mr. Girish Ramchandran post, right? On the million who still lack connectivity in their homes was, and I quote, Mahatma Gandhi said, "World was enough to meet its need, but not enough to meet its greed." We are living in a hugely unequal world. The fortune at the top of the pyramid should be sufficient to eliminate the deprivation at the bottom. World's leaders and thinkers should work together, making that possible. Can I request you to a little bit elaborate to our audience? It was amazing saying. I was really impressed by that. So I thought I'll capture that and we'll start our conversation from that. That will help us to understand you a bit.
Thank you very much, Priya. And I will respond to your question by an observation that Mahatma Gandhi economics is as important as his politics.
Sure.
Gandhiji was not a trained economist. He drew his knowledge from the real world and interpreted them in a language which an ordinary Indian understands.
Yes.
So his insights are relevant even 70 years after he died.
Yeah.
If you look around the world, you can see unimaginable prosperity.
Yeah. Always.
And sadly, this prosperity is concentrated in a few individuals rather than in countries.
Yes. 3% people hold it, isn't it?
Right. How did this prosperity come about? It has happened significantly in the last 30 to 40 years because of a combination of factors like urbanization, growth in international trade, and digital economy's huge influence, and the spread of universal education.
Yeah.
The Forbes magazine brings out an annual list of billionaires.
Yeah.
You can see how much conservation wealth is there from that list. In the list, they come out every March. In the list that has come out in March 2020,
right,
2,150 billionaires control a wealth of $158 trillion.
Wow.
This is more than the wealth of China and US and another 8 or nations, top countries put together.
Yeah, agree.
Taking it forward, 10% of the total richest people control 53% of the global wealth.
Yeah.
And in India, it is good even worse. It is 10% of the top richest people control 80% of the wealth. And in the bottom 50%, can control only 2% of the wealth.
Yes.
But we can see the inequality so huge that
Everywhere, yeah. But especially in the developing country, we can see it's more prominent.
it is more prominent because if you look at the figures which Forbes bring out, the biggest rise of billionaires have been in India and China.
Yes, yeah.
Not even
And I heard the costliest property is in Delhi, in the world, right?
And so this inequality is not a Western phenomenon.
No,
It is really a global phenomenon. And
for sure.
now look at the other side of it. Now, the UNDP brings out a Human Development Index yearly. The last index, 2019, shows 1.75 billion people around the world go hungry every day,
Yeah,
on which this prosperity has no impact. And then this prosperity has no impact on 40 million illiterate people in the world.
yeah,
3 children go to school, drop out within 3 years. And 50 million children never go to school.
so sad.
So Gandhi's insight, it only means there are a moral vacuum in our economic thinking.
Yeah,
And that's what's driving it.
yeah. And I believe it's the responsibility lies on everyone's shoulder. People do blame the government and the system and all those things, but I believe the people who already reach to the top, they are the influential people, and they can bring a lot of equality. They are talking about human rights and everything anyway. Why can't they think about money as well in this one of the pillar in that rights issue?
I think what you said is very, very important. Let me add a comment to that. Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, recently commented that the best brains in the world work for the richest organizations.
Yes.
And they are not available for elimination of this poverty or creating a better value system. And so I can see. So I would say Gandhian thinking, although his insight was 170 years ago, has only even more relevant today than in his time.
And there are more people need to take more this kind of responsibility which Bill Gates is taking. There are a couple of people jumping now. There are a lot of new names are coming in that kind of system and contribution, but I'm pretty sure there more needs to be done in that sense, isn't it?
I think there are a lot of hopeful moments in this world. One cannot deny that. And world is recognizing that we need to have better commitments, a more sharper focus on our policies. And then, as I said in my small comment on Girish Ramachandran, the fortune at the top has been the leveling off the world.
For sure. So that brings to my next question, which is like, I would like you to walk us through your vision and expectation of how world leaders and thinkers should work together, making a possible difference in coming years.
You see, there's an unspoken, uneasy feeling in the world today that the economic models we have pursued, which focus on gross domestic product and annual economic captured in percentage terms, has failed to solve this major problem of deprivation and poverty.
Yeah.
Again, I think I would rather go to another insight of Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
And Mahatma Gandhi said, what the world needs is not mass production, but production by the masses.
Yes.
What he meant was that we need people to be participatory. A participatory democracy should be complemented by a participatory economy.
Yeah.
People had to play a role in the production process. And what he was hinting at, employment, job creation, far more important to the world than possibly a GDP or a nominal rate of growth captured in.
Totally. For sure. Sure. So more leaders should actually contribute in that area, following his vision in that sense, isn't it?
That's absolutely true. And let me give you one single topic of today's contemporary debate.
Yeah.
India is talking to 5 trillion economy. We want to reach 5 trillion. Why not 5 million jobs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are we talking about it? Nobody. The people who talk about 5 trillion may not even know how many zeros are there in a trillion.
Yeah. I mean, people are much worried about their day-to-day life. Majority of people, actually, if you look at the 70% people are worried about whether they are eating today and they have food today on the table and family is happy or not. That kind of thing is more common. And like the people who are budgeting nowadays, they should also consider more of a psychometrics. Like in marketing, we talk about, in business, we talk about psychometrics, one of the pillar. They should also think about in economics how they can actually derive the whole economy based on the people's behavior and basic requirements.
I think what we need is an alternative vision, a different value system that will shift the focus of our economic activity.
Yeah.
From growth to social justice, from products to people, and ultimately create a society that is more inclusive and less elitist. And technology is a big tool in this process, no doubt at all. But technology should have a socially sensitive policies, should have human face.
Yeah.
And that is the direction in which the world should go.
Yeah.
And global capitalism has not really worked satisfactorily in that sense.
Yeah, and I believe it should also integrated in our education system, which is like missing because the younger generation who is coming out there, they actually do not understand much in the detail of these aspects of the economics and the society turning up. What do you suggest, sir?
I think an important point is education. And I think younger generation have, if you look at the younger generation, whether in India, Australia, or United States, they all belong to one single community. They are not divided by national priorities. They are a globalized community. And they are very aspirational.
Yeah.
If you are giving them a good education, they will change turn the tides in the direction we have been discussing. What you said is absolutely true.
Yeah. And I'm actually very hopeful for the new education policy, which is coming up in India, which is really going to make a lot of difference in India, I'm pretty sure. Maybe we can discuss about that education policy one day.
I think we should be able to discuss when you talk about the Indo-Australian.
Yeah. So that's my next question is that how do you see Indo-Australian business ties and in this current pandemic and in general, and your suggestion? What's your journey forward? How do you suggest us?
We are at a very hopeful moment in Indo-Australian relationships. We can call it even a renaissance moment. I would say there are 4 levels of transformation taking place in the Indo-Australian relationships. The Indo-Australian relationship traditionally has been driven more by soft power than hard economics.
Yeah.
Cricket has been a dominant factor. And Indo-Australian community in Australia, extraordinarily successful, have been a major building block for Indo-Australian. But we need to bring it straight to the center stage.
Yeah.
We cannot live on, we cannot talk about people-to-people contacts without advancing to trade relations.
Yeah.
That is what the focus of the 2 nations here. A major initiative has been Peter Murphy's report, which came in the field some 2 years ago.
Yeah.
My feeling is that we have not done much follow-up on that.
No.
And, 2 years have passed and the report has come.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of issues there.
Yeah. But as far as I remember, like we have known to each other almost for 5 years now. And I believe we have seen a little journey towards, betterment in our relationship and in many ways, especially in the trade area, which is really good. Like you guys bring a lot of trades, and the whole Indo-Australian Chamber is doing a lot of things, bringing this together. And I really admire that part of you guys.
I think there are two aspects. I'll pick up a few points from your observation. The first is, in Indo-Australian trade, the shift from resources and commodities to services. The big services are information technology and education.
Yeah.
These are the two dominant services that leverage the two countries in future.
Yeah.
And we have been talking about education. 100,000 Indian students are in Australia today.
Yeah.
Huge investment for India in future. Indian students going out in the world in search of knowledge has been a phenomenon for over 100 years now.
Yeah.
And so that is continuing and is a major connecting point between the two countries.
For sure. And recently, there are a lot of migrants, skilled migrant came from India, which is actually contributing a lot to the Australian economy. And Australian economy is also contributing towards India. It's just like phenomenal to see the growth in last 11 years I have seen. In this industry.
I think that's a third point I want to say. We may not be looking at big ticket reforms, but a lot of things are happening at the ground level.
Yeah.
One simple fact taken. These are very small things, but very great important.
Yeah.
Amazon has opened an Australia store.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this has brought a lot of Australian brands to India.
Yeah.
Look at the Indian malls, which are closed now, but when they opened up, when they earlier also we have seen.
Yeah.
Australian fruits and fruit juices, wine and spirits, and cosmetics and beauty products, fashion, electronic products, sports goods. So Indian malls and Indian shopping places are full of Australian products now.
Yeah.
And one of the fastest growing trends in Indo-Australian economy is the growth of e-commerce.
Yeah. I remember when we were talking about, the mutual trade ship 10 years ago, people were more thinking about Australia is more of a mining company. That's it, in India. But now we know it's much more than that. We have Australian has a lot to offer to India. And of course, it's a big market. India is a big market for all of us, considering the population and the people's choices are very prominent towards the Australian product due to quality and all. So that's a lot of things to offer from Australia, and India has to offer a lot to Australia as well.
I tend to add one or two points to that. For instance, the large Australian companies like Foster's or A&B's or Curry Packers have not been really made that big difference to India. It's 350 SMEs who are established here.
Yeah.
They are adding great value. For them, every Australian dollar saved is 50 rupees earned in India.
Yeah.
They see value in that thing. And I must say, Australia has been doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Australia and all the other Indo-Australian Chamber, all of them have been adding value in connecting, helping the SMEs to find. They are all focused on small and medium. Australia is a strong economy in terms of SME. Prime Minister Scott, who I met in Singapore last year, he mentioned specifically that 2.3 million SMEs are there in Australia. They're adding great value. We are looking at how they can get over to India.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. I'm sure the chamber is contributing a lot in all that, whatever we are doing right now. It's really changing a lot. We have seen the growth, and I'm sure there are a lot of positive things coming in the future. Having said that, so how would you like in terms of global market, where do you see India's position in the global diaspora in next 5 years? Where do you see?
That's a very interesting point. Indian diaspora is now 17.5 million in numbers. It's a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse, and according to World Bank statistics, if you look at the remittances of migrants to each country, India, with the last year 2018, we got about $80 billion from Indian migrants.
Wow.
But I'm not talking about either the numbers or the wealth they create.
Yeah, sure.
Huge intellectual leadership they are providing.
Mm.
I believe that every Nobel Prize India has won in the last 50 years has been from a migrant who left India and settled in foreign countries. Govind Khurana, Chandrasekhar, Amartya Sen, and recently, when the 2019 list was when Abhijit Banerjee became.
Yeah.
So obviously, when Scott Morrison mentioned that Indian diaspora is emerging as a opinion makers and influencers. But nowhere does success have been as spectacular as in Australia, I must say. The 700,000 Indian members in Australia today is steadily climbing up the ladders of success, occupying positions in government, corporate world, and academia.
Yeah.
And
I believe most Indians who left their home and they look for the better life, we say better life and better opportunity, they come with a huge vision and they work hard for that. And they are actually contributing a lot. They are coming with the intention that we are gonna be part of that community. We are gonna be emerging with that community. That's phenomenon to say that. How people are actually coming up and emerging in the and actually mixing up the society.
see, I visited Australia during my years in Indo Australian Chamber 18 times. I led 18 business
Wow.
delegation. I have interacted with over 3,000 Australian companies. I must have met a large number of migrants.
Yeah.
What strikes me is an amazing grit and determination and remarkable. In fact, they are steadily, in the last, among Australian high commissioners, the last two of them have been Indian migrants, both Fitu Varghese and Miss Sidhu have been, in the Sidhu, have been of Indian origin. And if you look at that, there are so many other Indian, like, Noel Roche and, so many others have come up to school level in industry and academic. But the universities, there are many of these academic professors and teachers are all of Indian origins. So India, as you said, in fact, today you can say 1 in 50 Australians of Indian origin. and isn't it amazing? And having said that, they are building up, they are connecting increasingly the country of their origin with the country of adoption.
Yeah, we come with that pride, but we also feel pride to be part of this society. And we love that the kind of acceptance we are getting in the society, and we actually feel proud when we contribute to the economies. That's how I would say.
I must have said earlier, some 2,000 companies I met in 5 cities: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth.
Yeah.
When I talked to some of these Indians, I don't see a single Indian say, I want to go back to India. And I was away, they seem to be so well settled. In fact, Harinder Sidhu recently wrote a beautiful piece in the Twitter.
Yeah.
As a Sikh woman, she could grow up in Australia without losing her identity, at the same time fully integrating herself with the mainstream society of Australia.
Yes.
Very revealing piece.
Very amazing to see that the kind of acceptance, the integration level we are getting, the freedom we are getting, the exposure we are getting, everything is just phenomenal. Like I really love this. I love my country. Don't get me wrong. I always say, like, India is my birthplace, where actually I got this foundation, and I'm very proud of it. But I'm also proud of that I get this opportunity to grow in this country according to my choice, which is really amazing to explain.
I think Scott Morrison mentioned to me at Singapore, I find the Indian diaspora in Australia a major growth engine for the Indo-Australian relations. And I believe that he's a great influence. And the support they are given, I've seen how they do during Diwali festivals. They do the light of the opera house.
Yes.
And salutation, greetings, and it's amazing how the younger generation of Indian community in Australia now are full. And as I said earlier, the young Australians, the young Indians carry the compelling vision of 21st century values, globalization, multiculturalism, young entrepreneurship, high education. All these values are adding up for both.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we all are here to contribute, and so thank you for your time today. It was amazing doing conversation. It was really interesting points you bring a lot to the audience. I'm sure everybody will enjoy this, your communication, and we might have another discussion on the education policy sometime. Yeah, there are a lot of things are changing in India. I heard that, and I think there will be a separate topic all about that. But it was really amazing, the opening up you between Indo-Australian experience which you have shared. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on my.
I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope we are very more to follow. Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to this. Thank you.